You get the first one.
Got it.
Good.
So our goal is to get 100 schools to donate, to sponsor a school in Africa, in East Africa. And the key to sponsoring the school is donating $10,000 to build a well for a school.
All right, so our NAIS proposal, for a premium booth, it is $1,900, and for a standard booth, it's a little over $1,700. Our idea was to get a booth at the convention center in Atlanta, in hopes that out of the 1,800 schools, we could get at least 50 schools to at least stop and talk to us. With those hopes, we expect maybe 2 to donate. But we're looking to do this for the children, and we're hoping that by saying that we're doing this for children and not just to raise money to go to some high school or something like that, that it'll pull on those heartstrings and those people will hopefully see what the actual big picture of the idea is.
And just to add on to that a little, there are 1,800 schools, but like I looked at the NAIS website for the last conference, and they said there were at least 5,500 people there. So although there are only 1,500, 1,800 schools, there are almost, and I'm sure there will be more this year, so there will be around 6,000.
So basically our strategy is that we're trying to encourage Mr. Peterson to focus on the pathos aspect, which is like reaching out to the emotions of people. So what we want him to do is, at the booth, we want him to play some kind of like screenplay and like a video for the people that stop by to watch the video, because let's be honest, people aren't that great at listening anymore. So a visual for them to watch would be easier for them to understand. And we believe that adding parts of Logos and Ethos will reinforce the strength of his presentation, but they should only be used as supporting elements.
Yeah, so I was, as I was talking to Mr. Palmer about it, I was having a hard time finding statistics about the difference in effectiveness between Logos, Pathos, and Ethos, because every time I look it up, it would just try and tell me the definition of Logos, Pathos, and Ethos. But I think like everyone can universally agree that for the vast majority of people, Pathos is really the way to go as far as convincing.
I just want to quickly latch onto that. Mr. Peterson needs to introduce the advantages of a school actually doing this. So raise your hand if you want $5.
Heck yeah, I do.
All right, exactly.
I
Oh,
can use that.
we just accidentally lost slide. All right, never mind. So, anyways, like that is what Mr. Peterson needs to do. He needs to engage in the conversation with presenting the advantages and actually make you want to listen to what he's saying and actually consider his offering and consider your benefits of what's my benefit if I do this. That's what Mr. Peterson needs to do. He needs to introduce the benefits if a school actually does that. What's their gain from this, except for just being humanitarian and charitable and all that.
So our expenses, so for a standard booth, it is $1,725 at the conference, and for a premium booth, it's $1,900. The only difference between those two is one is in a high traffic area. They're both the same materials. And so other expenses would include travel. And Mr. Barrier said that he would travel with Mr. Peterson, and I'm assuming, but I'm not entirely sure, that Mr. Barrier is driving. So in that case, the travel costs would be small. And then also like a hotel room would be part of expenses, food, general expenses. And we think that at most, the expenses could be $6,000 if he's flying and if he's staying at a nice hotel where he's paying for his own room. So our backup plans involve reaching out to the independent schools of the Piedmont Triad area and possibly setting up a small conference among those schools, so schools like Calvary, Forsyth, Summit, Wesleyan, Greensboro, Country Day, and schools like that. So maybe set up a conference with them where Mr. Pearson could have a sit-down and a face-to-face meeting rather than trying to get donations through emails, because this is a pretty substantial amount of money, and we don't think that I don't think anyone would give $10,000 because of an email or some kind of digital presentation. I think it takes face-to-face, real contact to do something like that. And we also been thinking about Coleman has connections with the superintendent. Is it Davie County? Davie County, so possibly something there.
And then one of our last items.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cut you off. Sorry.